নমস্কার, আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগত জানাই আমাদের আজকের অনুষ্ঠান। যে অনুষ্ঠান আপনাদের খুবই পরিচিত এবং প্রিয় অনুষ্ঠান, তারাদের মুখে তারাদের কথা। এই অনুষ্ঠানে তো আপনারা জানেন যে এই অনুষ্ঠানে আমরা কি করি, যারা জীবনে বহু ঘাত প্রতিঘাত, উত্থান পতন এবং বিভিন্ন স্ট্রাগলের মধ্যে দিয়ে নিজেদেরকে প্রতিষ্ঠিত করেছেন, তাদের স্ব ক্ষেত্রে অর্থাৎ তাদের নিজ নিজ ক্ষেত্রে তারা একজন স্টার অর্থাৎ তারা। তো আমরা তাদের মুখেই তাদের কথাগুলোকে আমরা শুনি, তারা কিভাবে জীবনের এই স্তরে পৌঁছেছেন। জীবন যদি একটা নদী হয়, সেই নদীকে সাঁতার কাটা কখনো স্রোতের অনুকূলে, কখনো প্রতিকূলেই বেশি হয় অনেক সময় জীবনের। তো তারা সেইটাকে অতিক্রম করে কিন্তু এবার থেকে ওপারে পৌঁছেছেন। তো আমরা খুবই আজকে আনন্দিত এমন একজন বলবো মহিলার সঙ্গে এখানে আমি এসছি দেখা করার জন্য। আজকে কলকাতার পার্ক হোটেলের, কলকাতার নামকরা হোটেল পার্ক হোটেলে ওনার সঙ্গে এসছি দেখা করতে। উনি এমন একজন মহিলা যিনি কিন্তু জীবনের একদম নিচু স্তর থেকে, বলবো একদম গ্রাসরুট থেকে যুদ্ধ করতে করতে, উনি মানে লড়াই করতে করতে আজকে এমন একটা জায়গায় পৌঁছেছেন যেখানে কিন্তু সারা বিশ্ব ওনাকে স্যালুট করছে। তো আমরাও তাকে স্যালুট করছি আমাদের 24 আওয়ার্স টিভির পক্ষ থেকে। উনি আর কেউ নন, উনি জিলিয়ান হাসলাম। আপনারা অনেকেই জানেন, অনেকেই চেনেন। আমরা খুবই আনন্দিত আজকে ওনাকে আমাদের সঙ্গে পেয়েছি। তো আমি আমার মুখ্যমন্ত্রীকে আর দীর্ঘায়িত করবো না, ওনাকে অনেক অনেক স্বাগত জানাবো। ম্যাম, ভেরি ভেরি ওয়েলকাম টু ইউ। ওয়েলকাম টু মি।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
হোম প্লেস ফ্রম Kidirpur to London. How was the journey?
The journey was incredible. It was from living under the stairs, that was my first home, and then from there to Kidirpur, where we lived in a proper slum, which in a small little room, and then we were taken into St. Thomas's Girls' School by a very, very generous and kind man who was a principal. My mother couldn't get us into any other school, so he took us in, and thanks to him, today, God rest his soul, we've got a good education thanks to him. And I then left Calcutta when I was 17, and I went to Delhi, where I was very lucky. I joined Bank of America, where I worked very hard at 2 jobs, and the CEO helped me incredibly and helped me to get my parents' ancestral papers, and those are the papers that we used to leave the country and go away to the UK, where I worked for ABN AMRO and RBS, and then subsequently left and wrote my own book and started my own business.
How much this is critical for a woman to establish like you?
I think it's very critical for a woman. I am doing a speech very, very soon, and the title of the speech is The Mark of a Woman. And I've given it that title because it's very important for women to realize that competing with men isn't the way to succeed. God has made man for a reason and made woman for a reason, right? God has given men particular strengths, attributes and qualities, and He's given us the same. I think where we go wrong is when we try to be not just like men, but we try to compete with others. I think we shouldn't try to be that. We should try to be ourselves. And I think just like with me, I started out also very young, very, very driven, very ambitious, and I wanted to be somebody I was not. But very soon I discovered that we all have a gift. We are all different. We are all precious in a different way. And once we can identify that gift, we very quickly can become very, very successful if we live in tune and in line with what we are and who we are supposed to be. And I think that's most important for a woman to understand. What is your gift? What is your calling? What are you here to do? What are your strengths? And use that effectively rather than trying to be somebody you're not, because then you're swimming against the tide. And if you swim against the tide, you will always be pushed back and you will never ever go somewhere. But if you swim with the tide, you're going to go places.
Now you come in India. What is the difference between in Indian woman and the woman in abroad? the lifestyle and the circumstances and the difficulties. What is the difference between two?
I think a woman is a woman everywhere, right? We all have the same mental faculties, we are all the same, but in terms of our environment, in terms of the Western world and the Indian world, in terms of caste, culture, religion, there's all of those, different reasons why we are all, different. Me having lived on both sides of the planet, I can tell you good and bad about each side, So the good side of Indian women, we are very warm, we are very honest, and we're very soulful, We are very
that can be a bad side also.
I don't see it as a bad side. I see it as a very, very good side, because
people
Indian women are very
intentionally take that thing as a bad side, because they take advantage of the things.
Yes and no, but I think in most cases no, because you see, we have very many things to be grateful for. When an Indian woman gets married, she gets married for life. Her family, her husband, her children become her life. She is dedicated, she's loyal, she's trustworthy, she's humane. On the other side of the planet, we have some very, very incredible women, but marriage for them is nothing. They get divorced as though it means nothing to them, and those are things to me, having grown up in India, that are very sacred. It's very important. God has joined man and woman for a reason. You have to treat it, with respect. But on both sides of the planet, I think Indian women are very successful, and so are foreign women. Indian women, I think they spend more time in the kitchen, so they're better cooks, probably, than foreign women. But foreign women are also, because they've traveled the world more, they're more worldly. Many Indian women aren't. But, slowly the culture's changing, and I think, to me, there's good and bad on both sides, I like to see the good in people.
How can you compare between the woman in 17 years ago and now, where our CM is Mamata Banerjee, she is also a woman, our Congress President Sonia Gandhi, woman, and now recently our Defense Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, she is also first woman after Indira Gandhi. Nowadays things are changing. Konyashree Prokolpo, that is for the woman, betterment for the woman, and Teen Talak. What is the scenario, and what is
I think, whether it's Nirmala Sitharaman, or whether it's Sonia Gandhi, or whether it's Mamata Banerjee, I think all of them are highly influential, intellectual women. There's no difference between comparing them to Theresa May or Angela Merkel or a woman, on the other side of the planet. I think all of them, run massive institutions, massive countries. They are highly intellectual women, and they are to be respected. That just goes to prove that you can have intelligence on any side of the planet, And I really think that we shouldn't do this Indian, American, British, Czechoslovakian kind of thing. We should look at every woman as being intellectual, as being gifted, as being incredible in their own special way, and in what they bring, to all of us. That's what I feel about women.
Teen Talak, is this a great step for the government, or it will help the Muslim women to walk over?
One of my teams, I have 5 teams for the aged and the children and the disabled, and one of the teams is our inspirational women's team, and it is headed by a Muslim girl who is a black belt in karate. She teaches almost 200 girls, and she's educating them, and she's teaching them self-defense, and she believes very much in this Teen Talak, and some of them don't believe in it, But I think it is something that has been coming a long time. I think it empowers women, and I think it can help. But again, it all boils down to each individual family and each individual culture and how they look at things. You know, there are people who will burn a girl because she goes to a church, and there will be people who burn a girl because she goes to a temple. It boils down to each family unit, and it boils down to educating the girl child. I think it boils down to education.
Now, please tell about the Indian English. You've written the book Indian English. This is a quite famous book.
Indian English is basically my own life story, my own memoir, right? It's about where I was born, my family, and it's basically the good, the bad, and the ugly of what I faced as a child. So the good is how the poorest of the poor helped to save our lives. So, you know, whether it was a vegetable woman or a meat man or a Modi or a Panwala or anybody, they didn't have anything to give, but they shared and gave us everything they had. They never took money from us a single day, and they literally saved our lives. So my book is to tell the world that India is not just a place of crowds and bad roads and cows walking in between cars and all. It is a place to be admired. There are some of the world's greatest souls and the most selfless people on our planet today that can live within a slum and they don't get recognized. It's my hope that I bring these people to life and get them recognized. That's the good. The bad is when they threw chocolate bombs in front of our house, when they threw water balloons at our chests. But again, they didn't do it because they hate us. They loved us in that area. They did it out of being uneducated. My dad always used to say, if you took an intelligent boy from a school, he would not do that. You must feel pity on them that they do that because they are uneducated. We must try to help them. So my mother used to take all the little ones in and try to educate all of them in order. So, you know, that's why I say education is key to change. And that's the bad. And the ugly is, of course, sometimes we cried and sometimes we felt we were forgotten by the country, we were abandoned by the community, we were abandoned by a lot of people. Of course you feel alienated, of course you feel alone, you know, when you're the only one who wears a skirt and roams about, or when you're the only one who looks very different, you're the only one who eats differently, of course you feel alienated. But I think above all of that, there was great love, great compassion, and I am the person today only because of what I learned so many years ago.
You are a successful woman, and after some days, the biggest carnival, biggest festival of Bengal, Durga Puja. So how you will enjoy it? You will remain here or abroad?
No, I will be abroad this year because I've got a lot of commitments. But I have been living in Calcutta for so long in my life. I love the festival. I think the colors and the pandals and, you know, everything is just magnificent. What is created and the worship and the millions of people that come together under one religion with one belief is truly fascinating. You know, I think I would love to be here. I would love to, you know, go around and look at all the pandals, but I never stop looking at which pandal won the best prize for the greatest design, and I'm very intrigued because there's lots to learn over there as well, you know, and I think it's a great time for children too. You know, I always feel that children don't get enough in this country. I want to bring Disneyland here. I want them to see things. I want them to experience things, and I think so many millions of our kids don't get that. So I think the pujas and the pandals give them that excitement that they lack. All through the year they don't get it, and then suddenly they get the fun and they get the chocolates and they get the biscuits and they get to go around and they get some balloons. It's what a child needs, and I think there's just so much of good that comes out of it. So I think it's a very sacred time in the year, very, very sacred, at least my opinion.
You miss the puja?
Very much so. But I always put those diyas right around my house, every puja, And yes, my husband's a Hindu, so I do it because I respect him and his family. I do. He respects my religion, so I must do the same.
You are a successful woman. What is your opinion, or what is your message to the women who are deprived or who are poor, who are want to be great women or want to fight against the all circumstances difficulties? What are the message to the women?
I think the message for any woman out there is very clear. Use me as your example. You know, I had nothing. I came from nothing. I was born into abject poverty, or worse than abject poverty. There was no hope at all. I was like any, I love the quote, I was a beggar by the corner whom no one gave a dime. But today I read and write and speak because someone took the time. And I think we have a lot to learn from that quote, because just like them today, I was no one. I had no hope. I had no chance in life. And I didn't know where I was going. I was completely lost. But you have to understand that you mustn't accept the circumstances in which you find yourself. You must fight to break free. It will take a long time and very hard work, a lot of resilience of mind. But I think if you want something really, really badly, you can get anything you want in your life. But you have to want it truly from the bottom of your heart, just like I wanted it. I wanted to save my sister's life. I wanted to take my family away and give them a better life. And I wanted to come back and do for my city and my country. So I wanted it very badly, like it was my passion. So I achieved it. You have to make it your passion.
When you look back, what are the things that make you nostalgic? Emotional question.
I think sad movies. Definitely. I think definitely anything to do with very, very poor children. That it doesn't make me nostalgic, but it makes me sad. But if you're asking nostalgic, then definitely great poets, like the ones I'm meeting on the 6th. I just met one just a little while ago, and I think their inspiration and their belief in Rabindranath Tagore and things like that is just amazing. I don't get that abroad. I see that passion that lies in them here. And I love poetry, I love literature, I love movies, sad movies. Like the one movie I still remember is Mera Naam Joker. I love that movie. I think it's just a movie that's never left my heart. And it's like the message is the show must go on. So no matter what's happening in your life, and no matter how hard your life is, you have to keep going. And that's one message I took away from there. So no matter how many times you fall down, you have to get up again.
The last, what is your best wishes to our audience who are watching you in your television for the pujas or for that time which is coming, the great time, festival time?
Oh, my message.
Wishes, best wishes.
My best wishes is, I hope you have a very, very blessed and happy and peaceful Durga Puja, and I hope that we can all come together as one city or one country and try to change the world for the better, because there is so much sadness now in the world, so much terrorism, so much negativity. And I think a festival of this kind, a lot of good can come out of it if we all pray together and we come together. As Gandhi said once, he said, when a small group of people come together with complete belief in their mission, they do have the capability of changing the course of history. And I think we can change the course of history if we try.
You are getting Mother Teresa award. So, congratulations for that. And please tell how it will encourage you.
Mother Teresa is always a woman. And of course, she's revered by so many people around the world. But to me, personally, she's been so super religious, courageous, inspirational. She's been the greatest role model, really, one of the greatest role models in the world. And I think for me, it's even more of an honor to receive this Mother Teresa Award, because coming from my city, I received the True Legend Award in 2015 from the Telegraph, and last year I received the Excellence in Humanitarianism. But to receive the Mother Teresa Award is, I don't know, to me it's a blessing. It's not an honor, but it's an absolute blessing. And I think I want to use this award to inspire every little girl and boy out there that you can do great things. And again, as Gandhi said, you don't have to fight, and you don't have to be negative, and you don't have to be violent, but in a gentle way you can change the world. I truly believe that.
Last one difficult request from me, that please, you are in Bengal, our audience is wanting to just say little thing in Bengal, from your heart in Bengal, just
আমি তোমাকে ভালোবাসি.
Many thanks, madam. Okay.
It's an
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We are very thankful to you that you give us such a time, and from your busy schedule, we are very thankful for that. তো আজকে আমরা আমাদের অনুষ্ঠান এখানে শেষ করছি। আপনারা দেখলেন একজন মহিলা, তিনি জীবনের একদম নিচু স্তর থেকে কিভাবে সমাজের একবারে ওপরের স্তরে উঠে এলেন, এবং উঠে এলেন কি করে? উঠে এলেন মানুষকে সাহায্য করে। যেই প্রতিবন্ধকতাগুলো, যেই অসুবিধাগুলি উনি জীবনের শুরুতে নিজে ফেস করেছেন, সেগুলোতে যাতে মানুষ রেহাই পায়, সেগুলো যাতে মানুষকে ফেস না করতে হয়, সেই জন্য কিন্তু উনি মানুষকে প্রতিনিয়ত সাহায্য করে যাচ্ছেন। অনুষ্ঠানের শুরুতে আমি বলেছিলাম যে আমরা স্যালুট জানাই এরকম একজন মহিলাকে। তো আমরা খুবই আনন্দিত আজকে এনার সাথে আমরা কথা বলতে পারলাম, এবং আমরা আশা করি ইনি যতবারই কলকাতায় আসবেন আমরা এনাকে আমাদের অনুষ্ঠানে পাবো, এই আশা রেখে আজকে এখান থেকে বিদায় নিচ্ছি। দেখতে থাকুন 24 আওয়ার্স টিভি, সবার পাশে সবসময়। শুভরাত্রি।